Hi, Evan Easton for Communications 101. I'm here to do a speech. This is my audience.
Hi.
I think that qualifies as 10. Okay, I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight to listen to this. Want to talk about stages of team development and how teams are formed and kind of the growing pains and stuff that we go through in forming teams. You ever wonder why and how teams work? Some teams work really well and other teams don't. There are different stages that teams go through, and some of them get stuck in a troublesome state, and some are able to get through some difficulties in whether opinions or personalities or different goals. We're going to talk about those and see how we are able to make a rough team become a good team and a good team become a better team. Okay? So we're going to learn how to recognize what stage you're in team development in the four we're going to talk about. We're going to be able to identify different characteristics of each stage, and we're going to be able to correlate the concepts of productivity and morale and how they relate to each other, how you can help distinguish them. Bruce Tuckman in 1965 kind of coined this model of what stages different teams will go through, and they are called forming, storming, norming, and performing. And each team, no matter what kind of team it is, what their goal is, what they're trying to accomplish, all teams will go through these stages. Doesn't matter how big the team is or how small the team is, they all go through them. In the team development model, we have productivity. They're measured by productivity, and that is the amount of work that we can get accomplished in our team. Whatever our goal is, our productivity measures how much we're able to do. And then morale is how the team members feel about what's going on in the team. It allows us to be excited, be frustrated, all those kinds of things. In the team development model, we're going to talk about, real quick, in forming, we have, we want to talk about our productivity and our morale. When we first get into a team scenario, usually, how do we feel about a new team? We usually feel pretty excited about the team that we're in. Something new, something exciting, whatever it is, we feel excited. But our productivity, because we're new to the team, is quite low. And so you can see that our enthusiasm on this green line is way up high in this box. And our purple line, being our productivity line, is very low. And so they're kind of polar opposites right there. And as it says here, looks like pickup sticks. We played pickup sticks before. Maybe you younger kids haven't. And when I say younger kids, maybe you guys and you guys too. But we kind of have no direction. We don't have necessarily a goal. There's a goal out there. We don't know what it is. We're just excited to be here. As we begin to integrate one with another and start being able to understand what our goal might be and how we're going to interact with each other, we see that there is a goal, but we have all different ways and ideas and opinions on how to accomplish that goal, which creates some contention. And this is what we call our storming phase, where we kind of push each other's buttons, we kind of argue with each other. This is where a lot of teams will go stale and go stagnant, get stuck fighting. We've all been on those teams and those groups that get together, we're really excited, and we go to work on our first part of this project, and we're fighting about stuff, whatever it may be. Maybe it's timelines, maybe it's different ideas and opinions, locations, different responsibilities in the group. Lots of reasons cause us to have this conflict. And as you can see, in our storming phase, our two lines, they cross here where our productivity hasn't changed much, but our morale has dropped substantially. And that's okay. It's part of getting through. It's part of developing a team that's functioning well. You have to go through the hard times to get to the good times. Okay. Once we have had our little fights and our little tiffs and our arguments, and we've kind of set our personal egos aside, we're able to actually make some progress. Okay? We find that our goal is, we already know what our goal is, but all of a sudden we are united, trying to move towards that goal. We're not fighting as much. We begin to value each other in the different roles that each other play in the team, whatever that may be. Okay? In our lines, we can see that our morale has been really low, but it's starting to come back up, and our productivity begins to climb as well. It's where things start moving and things are starting to feel good. And then we have our final stage, which is our performance stage, and this is when it's go time. If you imagine a football team, they've been working together for all year long. They get through. They get through the regular season, they get through the playoffs, they're at the Super Bowl, and now it's time. Now it's time. Everything's on the line. It's put up or shut up. It's go big or go home kind of deal. And that's where we are able to get into this performing stage where everything's clicking, everything's firing on all cylinders. It's a well-oiled machine, and everybody's getting along. It's when we absolutely trust one another in the group. Okay, it means if I have a responsibility, everybody in my group trusts me to get my responsibility done. If I trust Annie to get something done, then I don't have to worry about what else is going on. It's not going to cause me any grief. No, I can trust whoever's part of my team because we're here. It's when we have one goal, we are absolutely united. There's not a whole bunch of individuals, there's one. Okay, and that's when we meet up here where not only our morale is high again, but our productivity is high. It's as high as they'll ever be. Now, one thing about the stages of team development is we don't stay here very long. We stay here for a short period of time, and then we'll probably drop back into this norming stage because maybe we lose an individual in our group. We change a timeline. We change our goal. Anything that changes in our group puts us back a step. Sometimes we'll go from performing back to forming again if the group is dissolved and start again. If we're maintaining the same group, have a different goal, we can get back into storming because we have some difference of opinions or whatever because of a change in location or goal or anything like that. Anybody have any questions so far? We all good? All right, thumbs up. Good. So in understanding the stages of team development enables us to anticipate what's coming next. We know when we get into a group what's coming next is we're excited and we're going to fight each other in a little bit. Could be big, could be small. We can anticipate what comes next, and knowing that we're stuck in a rut in that storming phase if we're fighting, we know that just around the bend, if we can get through this, good things are going to happen. Okay? It allows us to know that when we're done performing and we slide back into a different stage, we can say, okay, where are we now and what do we need to do to get to the next stage again? It helps us establish appropriate strategies at the different stages because the way you think in one stage isn't necessarily the way you will think in other stages. You have to change your way of thinking in order to get past those certain stages. When I'm performing with my team, I'm not thinking about what we were fighting about before or whose opinion conflicted with mine. It doesn't matter anymore. If I slide back, then my thinking changes to be able to work with that portion of the team development model. When we understand there's not as many surprises, it allows us to know, okay, kind of what's coming next. Makes it easy for that. And we're able to determine where the success is going to come from. Where we can see the little changes we need to make that will allow us to become better at what we're doing. And so In conclusion, the importance of team development and understanding it is so that we are able to do these things. If we're able to do these things, our experiences in our teams, in our groups, our families, wherever that may be, are going to be happier and more successful. Thank you.